Hello everyone, I'm back with you people, and this time I have brought very good content for all of you, which will lessen your burden for the board exams. English is a subject where everybody is very much keen, where everybody is very much confused, where everybody is very much into dilemma what to study, how to study, especially at the last moment. So now, as the exams are approaching, we know the students will be giving exams somewhere in the month of March. So I have invited a guest today with us to help us throughout and explain us throughout the basics of do's and don'ts of the board exams. So without any further delay, I would just add the person with us, and she's a very insightful person. Watch the video till the end. I'm sure you will get a very clear picture of how to write a paper and how to score best. So here we have a guest today. She is Shinu ma'am, and I want you to just introduce yourself, please.
Good evening, ma'am. My name is Tinu John, and I am an English teacher at GIPS, Gandhinagar International Public School in Randeja. And I am associated with the school since from 8 years. So it's a part of my life now. And as I am teaching English, so each of the loopholes, each of the things that students are getting fear of appearing the exam and attempting the questions and sections, I get to know it very well now. So let me explain you the paper style of 10th standard English, where the students are going to appear for the board exam. Many a time they feel it very difficult to score the mark, but English is a language and a subject where they can score very easily. The paper style of Gujarat Board is made in such a way even the weak student can easily score the passing mark. So there they have to concentrate on each sections. Let me explain you. We have five sections here. Section
I
A,
would
which
pause you, ma'am. I'll just share the paper, the one that is needed on the screen so that they can understand it. Just give
yeah,
me a minute, I
sure.
will share the screen.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the audience, the viewers, you can be, rest assured about and listen to each and every details very carefully so that it will help you out throughout your content. It will help you out, especially session wise when ma'am is saying that is really a scoring part. So I'll just quickly get the paper. Okay, and here the paper and the screen sharing is there. Okay. Okay. And so is this the visible? The paper is visible? Mm, yeah. Yes, ma'am. You can continue.
With
You're not audible. It's like we're having difficulty.
uh, let us start
Yeah.
with section A.
Yeah, you can
Now it's
start.
audible?
Yeah, it's audible. It's audible. Continue.
Okay, fine, fine. So I'm starting with section A that comprises of the textual based questions only. Let it be comprehension passage, let it be question answers, let it be fill in the blank. So the students who are concentrating in class, definitely they can score without going through the things even once if they are concentrating in class. Let me explain you for the weaker student. It is English is totally based on the stories. Okay, and the factual biography of the leaders, our leaders, those who have done many good things for us. So, such stories and facts are very interesting to listen in class. If at all they are not able to understand in class, we have many YouTube channels where they can at home get the assistance there, and they can very freely and easily understand it, repeat it again and again. Then they can watch and get the idea or the summary of the lesson. Now, that will be more than enough to attempt section A, because there it consists of one lesson's comprehension passage that is there in first prose, that consists of 2 marks, two questions of 1 mark. Means after reading the passage itself, they can understand the answer. From that passage itself, the answers are there. So that is more than enough to score marks. So 5 marks we can comprise from the comprehension or the textual based passage and their question answer. Next thing is fill in the blank. The students, those who have gone through the textual lessons at least once or twice, they can easily answer this fill in the blank because the options are already there and the passage is from the textbook itself, the lesson itself. So it is very easy to score that marks. Next comes the textual question. Even if the summary is understood by the student, they can easily attempt the question. So that is very well enough for them to score marks in question answer. Now, when it comes to question answer, they have to show their writing skills where the lesson's name and the author's name has to be mentioned and it has to be underlined. At the same time, what the question is, and it is, if it is of 2 marks, definitely they have to justify the question and underline the exact justification. Maybe the question will not be much lengthier, but for 2 marks, they have to write at least 4 to 6 sentences. Maybe the justification of that answer will be in 2 sentences only. So they have to underline that exact justification of the answer, and rest of the things they can add up from the lesson. So easily they can score the marks because the examiner will be impressed with that. Next comes section B. So while I have explained you about section A, it comprises of 16 marks out of 80 marks question paper. 16 marks comprises of section A. Now when we move on to section B, it comprises of the poetry section from the textbook. So that is also very easy to score the marks from the stanza or the passage of poem. The student can get the answer itself. So that is another thing to score marks. Then comes the figure of speech, which is based on the poem. So figure of speech is basically of 2 marks only, and very easy figure of speech is asked in that. And if the student has understood it clearly in the class, they can easily attempt it. Otherwise, they can practice it and they can understand it from the other channels or the social media, which is very easy to understand. So for 2 marks, they can score the marks there. And next comes the poetry textual question answer, and that is also very easy because the poems of 10th standard are very interesting and very factual, means it is connected to the practical life of human beings. Okay, so students feel it very interesting in the class if the teacher is explaining it in a very good way. So that is easy to score the marks. There also, while writing the question answer, you have to show your writing skill where the grammar is checked, the punctuation is checked, the exact idea of the lessons or the poem's name and the writer's name or the poet's name has to be mentioned. That gives the clear idea to the examiner that this child is very well versed in this poem or in this question. So that has to be mentioned in the question answer. Along with that, the justification of the answer and what is the exact justification that has to be underlined. Now, while going through all these writing section in from the textual question answers, let it be poem or lesson, the student has to use the glossary vocabulary that is given at the end of the lesson, each lesson and poem. So if student use those vocabularies, examiner will be really impressed. At the same time, students will get the knowledge and idea of new vocabulary. Okay, so that is another thing. Then comes the supplementary textual comprehension passages. That means We have two books in 10th standard. One is of First Flight, another one is of Footprint Without Feet. So one main book is there and one supplementary is there. In both the things, supplementary is very easy because there the question answers are not asked as per the last year's question paper. That is what been is been displayed in the screen there. The supplementary two questions only, two lessons only are taken from there. The comprehension or the passage from that lesson is given, and the question based on that passage is asked. So we don't have to learn or memorize the question answer of supplementary book. So it is very easy. Government has made it very easy for the student. So the burden is removed from the student to learn and memorize the question answer of supplementary book. So that is another part. From the passage itself, the answers are given. Answers are sorted out by the student. So this section comprises of 16 marks. Section A of 16 marks, section B of 16 marks. Then